there are games that do things like that. You know what's the best? You don't see it, but like behind me, it says at the bottom there, press Z to go back. I press Z and nothing happens. Why? Because it wants the Z where my Y button is. I laugh when games do that. No, I don't. It's stupid. It's so stupid. Yeah. Anyway. Dot 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 dot. Shut up. What an incredible place. It's so imposing. It's almost suffocating. It's also a clock tower, and it gives me like flashbacks to Castlevania, and I hate everything about it. This place is breathtaking. Very nice, you are breathtaking. It looks like a fortress. There are some stone buildings like this in Japan now, of course. But they've only built in the few short Let's try it again with English. But they've only been built in the few short decades since we opened our borders to the outside world. An authentic example like this has quite a different impact, wouldn't you agree? A far cry from the wood and paper most of our buildings are constructed from. Yes, but this kind is also more depressing. Concrete. It gives you depression. It's certainly unfamiliar. But I think there's more to the differences than just construction materials. Yes, because it's totally normal. You have a building where you live in and there's like clockwork inside, right? Why did they build a courtroom in Big Ben? What is this place again? Don't say Big Ben. This is the Lord Chief Justice's office, Naruhodo-san, in the Supreme Court of Great Britain. Yes. The Lord Chief Justice. The Lord Chief Justice. Lord Chief Justice. I was wondering why your middle name is Chief. We had instructions to report here at this time if circumstances were different. We were supposed to let the Lord Chief Justice know that we had arrived from Japan. But Kazuma can't. No. So instead, we are here in a different capacity. As envoys to report the news of Kazuma's Talma's death. Yes. And having delivered his or her message, an envoy's duty is done. So we'd have to return to Japan. If we want to remain here in Great Britain. I'm not even sure if she said that. I'm sorry. I have to take Kazuma's place as the law student selected for the study tour. Yes, which means you need to requisite qualifications as a lawyer. which is what I've been studying for. Here in Great Britain, it is the Lord Chief Justice who appoint lawyers. So that's the second reason why we're here, to have you officially recognized as a lawyer. It's the only way that we'll be able to remain here in London. Here in London, where there is only fresh air. Where's this smoke coming from? I hope I'm up to scratch. Ah, good morning. Sorry for keeping you. Oh. Holy shit. Well, I'm absolutely sure he's not evil. Look at those eyes. Those eyes can only speak the truth. He would never commit a crime. No, he's a gentleman. I don't even know what dumb voice I should give him. Interest ye and excuse. No, I can't give him that voice. Can we like hire Asla? Asla can speak this gentleman because he's British, and I'm a British. I am British, and I'm really bad at British accent. I'm really bad at it. In it. What voice do I give you? I trust you aren't too exhausted from your long voyage from Japan. It seems I'm 1 hour 12 minutes and 47 seconds late. My apologies. Why does everybody have like a deep voice? Oh, no, don't mention it. We're never happier than when we are standing around with nothing much to do. Smile. How fortunate. Strong heart. Oh, Mael. Mael is Old English. I cannot translate it to you specifically, but I have like some lyrics where Mael is part of it. So maybe it also counts as a name, but it also has an actual meaning as in a sentence. So, introductions. I am Mael Strongheart, Lord Chief Justice of the British Empire. I feel like a little mouse under an elephant's foot. Steppies? Come on, Mr. Naruhodo, don't be a mouse. Oh, It is an honor to meet you, Lord Chief Justice Strongheart. I'm Ryunosuke Naruhodo from the Empire of Japan. Well, Mr. Naruhodo. Welcome to London, the capital of our glorious British Empire. Ah, yes, thank you. Okay, sure, let's converse. So, what are your impressions of our capital so far? How do you like London? Oh, well, well, I've been so nervous since I've got here that I can't remember a single thing about the city. It's simply splendid, isn't it, Mr. Nutter? Oh? And what do you like the most? The dirty roads? The peasants? The small dying children in the side streets? Or perhaps Mr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde? We had a wonderful view of some of London's streets from the carriage on the way here from the station. Everything is so impressive and grand. I must say, I'm almost lost for words, yet I'm the only one speaking. I'm glad you like it. The city boasts tramways, piped water and gas, even cables supplying electricity. We spearhead every revolutionary new technology in the world. Every visitor to London is astounded. Like modern day is astounded about the UK today. Oh! Oh yes, astounded is the word. Thanks for saving me, Susato-san. And everyone seems so jolly and full of vigor. Mm-hmm. Yes. There's much excitement about the upcoming great exhibition we will be hosting here in London. Well, that was actually a big thing. I agree on that. Great exhibition. Now I'm... Where was that? Where was that? There was an other game that had something to do with the great exhibition. Oh. Anyway. I'm going to hit you with this if I feel like it. Cultural and technology achievements from around the globe are to be exhibited here in our great city. It will be the greatest spectacle of its kind in history, and we will make Paris's World Fair look like a toy shop. Oh yeah, there was this. Paris's World Fair, right. I think I was thinking about that. Strange. Gosh, I can hardly imagine how magnificent it's going to be. And I put an A into my sentence, despite I was so amazed. Great Britain's capital city is nothing but magnificent. London is the center of the world. Center of the modern world. Wait, center of the present past world. Even if you do say so yourself. A sun will never set on our great empire. The future is looking at you. Perhaps it is fate that in these progressive times we welcome visitors from the land of the rising sun. You sound like my dead friend. Lord Chief Justice, I think you were expecting a student of law for this study tour, weren't you? My favorite What's your favorite? And hello there, Jimmy Peterson. Jimmy? Absolutely. I'm Mr. Kazuma Azogi, if my memory serves. I wonder why you hate this. I wonder why you hate this. The thing is about the Ace Attorney games is they have their really very amusing moments and they are great. Don't get me wrong. But it's just inside of the cases that they just keep. Like, they literally take a cup, throw in the facts, and then they take a spoon and, like, stir it around and keep going around the same things over and over again, despite that we all already know it's bullshit. And then in the end, they literally just throw everything away and go like, you're right, there's not a plot point here, and it's gonna be this one. And you just go like, what? It's those points that make the games such a... I wanna kill my... No, I don't wanna kill myself, but like literally I just wanna step away. That's the thing, it's like Ace Attorney is on one side really good, on the other side it's just like playing for time by literally looping around unnecessary things back and forth. I'm very glad that the movie, yes, there's a real life movie of Ace Phoenix Wright, that this movie didn't go that far with it. And yes, if you didn't know, there is a Phoenix Wright real life movie from Japan, and I highly recommend to you to watch it because it is amazing. That's right. The British government has already been telegraphed a full report on the situation. Why are you talking like that? Ah, that's my normal voice. I understand the young man lost his life aboard the steamship bound for our shores. It's amazing, the news reached him before we even arrived. I read it in my emails, that's why I already know about this. My country naturally extends its deepest condolences to yours. I love it when I don't use my brain to do something. Sometimes that can be good, yes, but that's usually the state when I'm tired. Then I don't mind that. But sometimes when I play this game, I wish I could reach into my screen and grab any of these virtual characters and bitch slap them and go like, are you serious? Oh, thank you. And you honored this appointment specifically to inform me of the news? Yes. So tomorrow there will be overcast, a little bit of rain, and more wind from the south. Are you sure that's what you wanted to tell me? Yes, of course. We are here in the capacity of envoys from Japan to report the sad news in person. They tell me you Japanese are people of protocol and courtesy, and I see that is true. And it is with some regret that I must inform you. I like that he said some regret, not with regret, just some. That the death of the young lawyer means this study tour arrangement can no longer proceed. If you would just hear us out, Lord Strongheart. What do you have to say, madam? It's about the study tour. Mr. Naruhodo here would like to make a proposal. Would he now? Well, Mr. Harunodo? Nodo? What a strange name. I know, it's really stupid. If you knew what it means. This is it then, the moment of truth. Actually, you know what? I like this game, but not because of the game itself. It's gonna be a follow-up to that, and I'm curious to hear it. The thing is, Lord Justice, Lord Strongheart, I was wondering if perhaps you would consider allowing the study tour to go ahead? Don't misunderstand me. Britain would ideally like to see the tour go ahead. But without a lawyer from your country, there's nothing to be done. Well, in that case, what if there was someone else? Another lawyer from Japan, I mean. ... Is there something I don't know, boy? Bend over. Only a single lawyer was invited to Great Britain from your country. And that was Mr. Sugi. At least that is what I've been led to understand. I know people would dislike this game a lot because of its lameness, so I told you to play this so that no one would tune in the stream. Ah, that makes sense. That's perfectly understandable. And by that way I can dominate chat. You can try, there's no problem in that. But you gave me an idea, that's perfect. Perfect. Now I have a better title for my stream. Thank you. Well, the thing is, this really isn't going well at all. I just can't seem to find the right words to say to this man. Mr. Naruhodo. Could ruin things here if I'm not careful. I'm going to say. There's someone else here from Japan who could be described as a lawyer. It's this Russian sailor. It's you! You, Chief Lord Justice. It's me. I can do it. Is that so? I mean, I don't actually have any qualifications as such, but... No qualifications, you say, and yet you still claim to be a lawyer? I have acted as a lawyer in court before. Only once, as it happens. And I had Kazuma to help me, and I was accused, but glossing over the details. I don't know why, but I kinda hate when there is an active chatter and that person flings my messages into oblivion, so this is a big pleasure for me. You wouldn't even have the chance to experience that. For that, I would need far more people actively being in my chat. It's like, even if I had all my regulars here, even then, that would never happen. I've been spending every spare moment on the journey here to Great Britain studying. I've learned all about British law and court proceedings while I was on the board of the SS Buria. The voyage from Japan is some 50 days, I believe. Not what you might call a full education. To become a qualified lawyer here in Britain, not only do you need a university degree in law, you must also complete several years of training in the dirt on the streets as a newspaper boy. I realize it's far too short of a period of time, but I can just go back to Japan. Kazuma, Mr. Sogi's journey had only just begun. Coming here on his study tour was all he thought about. I have to carry on and do everything he planned to do. I know it must sound like I have an overly inflated opinion of myself, but I would do anything to prove that I have what it takes. Any test you care to set me. Just one chance, that's all I'm asking for. Please. 31 seconds. Sorry? Your opening statement there, Mr. Naruhodo, it was 31 seconds long. Not too brief and not too protracted. A perfectly judged appeal, I would say. Which is a skill that would stand you in good stead as a lawyer. Oh, thanks. So, you're willing to put those words to trial, are you? Well, I'm all for entertainment. Let me put you on the street where we throw vegetables at you. Thank you, Bob. I shall do that. There we go. Cheers. Huh? But let me ask you one thing first, sir. Yes? You say you intend to do everything Mr. Sugi planned to do. Are you firmly set on that path? Well, yes. That's my intention. I see. So which case is this? This is the third case, the first time we arrived in London. What did it say? Something about the moving room or something? Apparently it's gonna be a case about a murder in a carriage, I think. At least it said something like that in the beginning. Am I imagining things? Or did his expression just alter a fraction there for all of a sudden? I didn't look in his face since I'm reading text. Very well. You sound like my judge in Japan. You have your wish. I'll give you a chance. A murder? Probably. I would say, like, when they mention it in the intro, it's gonna be the case. A test to become a specially certified lawyer. Whether you pass or fail is entirely down to you. Really? Test. What's 1 + 1? So what form will the test take exactly? Tell me, Mr. Naruhodo, what do you consider the role of a lawyer to be? Well, defending people, of course. Well said. So, let's have you defend someone. Huh? Your timing is perfect, in fact. There's an apt trial about to begin later today. No advocate has been appointed for the defense as yet, so this will be welcome news. Today? Straight away? But Susato... If you manage to secure a verdict of not guilty, you'll have passed my test. What could be simpler? So I'm glad that you will be the defendant today for this murder, which we found with 50 weapons, blood and guts all over him, and it was clear he murdered at least 50 children. I have to help this guy to get a no guilty? How do I get myself in these situations? Well, could I ask, what sort of trial is it, Lord Strongheart? Yes, good question. I remember. It's a murder trial. A murder? An extremely simple case, I understand. You really can't lose. It's easy to say. But I should mention, just in case. If the defendant is found guilty, he will, of course, be sentenced to capital punishment. Not capital punishment. Capital punishment? He'll be put to death? Is this so weird to you? They wanted to kill you in your own country. Here in Great Britain, murderers are sent to the gallows without exception. Presumably you read that much into your short sea-based introduction to British law. Who are these people and which role are we playing? Yeah. Lord Senator Justice Man-Made, what do I have prepare my spreadsheet for in this D&D session? In this law and justice session. We can't possibly agree to such a test. Why? Did you expect not to do a trial? It's like, what did he expect? That he will sit down and fill out a paper and he will be like, yeah, well done, you're a lawyer now. We would be toying with a man's life. No, you would defend someone from not losing their life. I am the Lord Chief Justice. I am the law. And I've decided it's acceptable. But you can do that, can you? There's no need to overcomplicate this. All you have to do is to ensure that you don't lose. So, the defendant may live or die depending on how well I perform in court. If I lose, he'll be hanged. Shocking! What if I had defended myself in the last case and lost? I would be dead by now. He's an idiot. Mr. Naruhodo, you've come to me claiming to be a lawyer. If you want me to take you seriously, you need to prove you're willing to do a lawyer's job. And you say you intend to see through the will of your compatriot, Mr. Sugi. I would like to understand just how far you're willing to go in order to make that happen. He's testing my resolve, my determination. What's the matter? You've fallen silent. I'm sorry, but time is pressing. The trial begins shortly. I need an answer from you, now. What's it to be? Do I agree to this absurd test? Alright then, I have to give words that I could read, but the game is just instantly progressing and therefore I cannot tell you those words. Does this game have rankings? I would say no, because I have no idea what rankings are. I can do it. I can't do it. I can't get the words out. "15 seconds. Your decision making needs work if you want to be a lawyer. That's way too slow. So, it's as I suspected, is it? Sorry? You have noble intentions, but you lack the resolve to see them through. The test is cancelled. Thank you for stopping by. Go and acquire your ticket for the passage back to East tomorrow. This conversation is over." Oh, that was the fastest case we've ever done. Time for the fourth one. Yes, Lord Strongheart. Thank you for your offering me a chance. Mr. Naruhodo. I'm sorry, Miss Susato, but what could I do? It's alright, I understand. You do? It's not an easy decision to choose whether to defend a man in these circumstances. But resolve has absolutely nothing to do with it. What are you trying to say, madam? I think what Miss Susato means is that no matter how badly I would like to be recognized as a lawyer and stay here in Great Britain, to risk another man's life by treating his one and only chance at a trial so trivially would be utterly unforgivable, and I feel exactly the same way. I'm sure the defendant won't see this trial as a test, as some kind of experiment. A lawyer may fight for his clients in court day after day, But for each one of those clients, the particular day they stand in the dock may be the only chance they have to fight to prove their innocence. No, I was wrong. I'm not qualified to do that job yet. I'm sorry for wasting your precious time, Lord Chief Justice. Wait, Mr. Naruhodo. Oh, was there something else? It's approximately 20 minutes by carriage to the Old Bailey from here. If you leave immediately, you should still be there in time. But I just said that I was quite serious in what I told you. The defendant in this case has literally no one to advocate for him. What? At this point, he can't hope to find someone to represent him. The trial will begin without the defense. And if that happens, there's only one possible outcome. He will receive the most severe sentence the judge can pass down. But that's awful. But that's the truth. Why does it have to be like this? Please don't expect an answer to every question. The cold, hard truth of the matter is that there's only one person now with a chance to save this man from a very miserable end. And that is you. Really, his only hope? So, what do you say now, madam? Me? What do you mean, Lord Strongheart? You said it wasn't an easy decision to choose whether to defend a man in these circumstances, and I agree. But my estimation, it is purely and simply a matter of resolve. Our time is up here. I have a meeting to attend. I must leave in 2 minutes and 16 seconds. So, venture into a great city and enjoy yourselves. He's gone. The Old Bailey. Baileys? Nummy. If we're going to do this, Mr. Naruhodo, we must leave at once. But it doesn't give me a choice to move. Oh, okay, it does. Damn it. Fine. London's highest criminal court with an illustrious past, the Old Bailey. This is where I'm to take my test and prove my worthiness as a lawyer. A lawyer? Great, it's exactly the same room as in Japan. Good job. Oh, thank goodness we're in time. There's still 15 minutes until the trial begins, and we haven't spoken one word with the defendant. We have no idea who we are going to defend. We are so smart. I never knew a horse-drawn carriage could go so fast. I thought my teeth were going to rattle loose. On those muddy streets? Did you hear what I said to the driver when we climbed aboard? Get us to our destination in 5 minutes, driver. And there's a Janeway? It's guinea pig? There's a guinea in it for you. Okay, this is British terms. I have no idea what a Brit would understand if I told them there's a guinea in it for you. But I guess my best attempt of understanding what it means, they probably mean a Guinness, which is a beer. A guinea. 1 second. I don't even have to wonder. I don't even want to look it up. I will just ask a British person, which is a million times easier and slower in all of that. I don't care. I will still do it. Where is he? It's one of my favorite lines from Sherlock Holmes stories, and it worked quite perfectly. I don't know. Like, if it's really meaning beer, then I have to say, like, should a carriage driver drink on the job? Nah, this is London. Everybody's drunk. Papua New Guinea. You have to remember that every country has like its own strange terms for things. In this case, I wouldn't be surprised if it means Guinness beer, but it's like a nickname for it, where it's just Guinea. It's the same reason why a toilet in England isn't called toilet. It's the loo. Where's the loo? Like, that makes no sense. It has like no relationship to a toilet, but it's called loo. There are many terms like that, and I'm just receiving an answer to this. No. A guinea is old money for a pound and a shilling. So, a guinea is old money for a pound and a shilling, aka a British pound and 1 shilling. Which, of course, was a lot of money back then. No wonder why I can't look for those on Google Translate. No, you can't. No, you can't. Like, British people have like 10 to 20 terms for bread, which all have not the word bread in it. Like, you can look them up if you're lucky, you might find out, but there are also a lot of very local dialect stuff in language, which even like search engines and so on will not really tell you a correct answer. But since I know British people, I can ask them. I'm not sure why you're so pleased. I thought we were going to die, and we had to pay gold for the privilege. Well, at least we arrived here before the trial started. Yes, I suppose there's that. Anyway, I don't understand it. The court clerk said the defendant should be here, but there's no sign of him at all. The defendant is you. You are going to die. So this is the Old Bailey. Even this room for the defendants to wait is grand. Are you alright, Mr. Naruhodo? Feeling tense, that's all. This place gives me the same sense of foreboding that I remember from the Supreme Court in Japan. An oppressive air, almost as if the building itself is going to crush whoever is about to be sentenced. Feels like only yesterday that I was there, was the one about to be crushed. Yes, whoever the man you're to... English! Yes, whoever the man you're to defend is, I imagine he's feeling very alone at this moment. I will make an educated guess and say like the man we are going to defend is gonna be Sherlock Holmes. Top of the morning to ya, madam. Sir? What is this ridiculous hat? What is this hat? Is this guy like living under the impression the bigger the hat, the more important you are? Is this like an avatar of God? Jesus. No. So many British people. I'm not good at doing British accents. What what are yous doing following me here? Things are fair desperate, are they? That this is probably not even British. It's probably going into Irish. Sorry? What do you look at those expressionless faces from the east, are yous? We are from Japan, yes, and we speak Japanese and don't understand you, nor do you understand our Japanese. Japan is it? Right, see no more. So, how much do yous need? No, we're here just because... No need to explain, fella. I've been here there myself, so I have. No place to go, nothing to eat, buried penny in your name, and while in a strange, faraway land. What is this accent even? Well, actually, we haven't found a place to stay yet, no. What the fuck is wrong with this guy? This grand. Let me start by giving yes the 1,000 guineas. Say nothing more. Say nothing now. I can't read. £1,000. 1,000 guineas? Please, Miss Susato, you don't have to shout. But 1,000 guineas is enough to build an entire mansion in the most prestigious area of Tokyo. What? Nani? He's nothing to me at all. I like to be ensured I have sufficient funds to weather the rainy day, you see. I've enough wealth to buy the city of London 2 or 3 times over. Would that much rain even fall in one day? This gentleman is extremely trustworthy. Well, even so, we couldn't possibly accept such a large sum of money. Yes, you can. As long as you don't have to pay it back. That hit me in the eye. That's okay. Don't get me wrong, fella. I'm not giving it to ya no strings attached. I'll be wanting you to do something for me. Oh? To be honest, this is a little embarrassing. The trials that's about to begin, you see, is for me good self here. I'll be in the dock. So now, what I want you to do is to come along with me and stand there beside me. Officially, you would be my lawyer. You would be my lawyer, but that's just a little detail now. I don't know where I'm going with this. Oh, well, the thing is... Don't worry about thing. All you have to do is stand up there next to me, nothing more. Otherwise, you see? The trial is going to start without me having any kind of representation at all. So it was true. Lord Chief Justice wasn't just making it all up. I'm terribly sorry to have to ask you, but does that mean you're the defendant in this trial? Blazing blazes, do yous not know who I am? Me, one of the London's biggest names? No, sorry, we've just arrived in the city, you see. You see, suppose it isn't altogether impossible. Well, just next to the Hyde Park, there's the center of London, is another beautiful park. It's called... It's called Jekyll Hall. Sorry, a park? What? It's called McGilded Park, full of blossoming flowers in the spring and singing birds and whatnot. He donated it to the city, so it did. An entire park in central London? A city of smiles. That's my vision of London. There's nothing Magnus McGilded wouldn't do for the city and its square old people. That's amazing. I mean, really extraordinary. But now they've got... What is the sentence? Now, Dave, the gall to say I'm not good for nothing criminal. Me, Magnus McGilded. What is the matter with the London police, I ask ya? Right, don't pass out. Mr. Naruhodo. Perhaps now would be a good time to introduce ourselves while the gentleman catches his breath. Good idea. Mr. McGilded, the thing is, we are actually here in London to study British law. We are law students on a tour, on a study tour from Japan, you see. So if you don't have a lawyer by the trial yet, and you would be happy to put yourself in our hands, I'll do... What was it after seeing your deft Egypt... What? What did he just say? What was I after saying your daft Egypt? What is Egypt? What in the hell is Egypt? It is a noun that means an idiot, a fool, an imbecile. It's a slang term. That makes sense. Idiot, Egypt. I've given you 1,000 guineas to stand up there next to me, haven't I? Well, yes, but it wasn't really an offering to just stand there next to you. Oh, I think I see what's going on here. What? I know what you're thinking. This chancer of a fella claims to have no more money than the Queen. But if it's true, why the blazes can't he hear the finest lawyer in all of England? Because he did it. That's the only explanation. Well... well... Yes, exactly? What now? Well, I would like to say... well, like you said, if you have all the money but you don't have anyone to represent you in court, there's no other logical conclusion that you're guilty of the charges. Well, you call me a spade in the East, so do you... What? What is he even saying? Well, you call a spade in the East, so you do. What? I don't even understand what he just said. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to mean any offense. I still can't express myself very well in English, you see. I'm never sure what's acceptable to say and what isn't so. Is that so? Because you sounded fluent enough when you were telling me what a blackguard I must be. I'm terribly sorry. I can't say that I can blame you for thinking it, fella. It is a little strange, to be honest. Why you don't have a lawyer, I mean? That would be the fault of the Reaper. Sorry? Did he just say Reaper? Aye, the Grim Reaper of the Bailey, Lord Berg 1-6. He's the prosecutor. Lord Barrack van Zieks. Lord Barrack van Zieks. What a name. The prosecutor is the Grim Reaper? Yes. When Van Zieks stands for the prosecution, they call the accused his sacrificial lambs. And to this day, in every single trial in which he's been prosecuted, the accused has been damned. What? So it reached the desperate situation where there's no one willing to stand in defense against the fella at all. Oh, it's Coffee. Hi, Coffee Siphon. How are you doing? Yes, we are doing degenerate stream casting. What in tarnation is happening? Good question. So, to bring you up to this, in short term, we arrived in London, we went to the court, we talked with the head honcho there, and the head honcho was like, okay, I'm going to accept that you will be a lawyer, but you have to do a test trial, a real trial of a murder. Go there or don't go. And we decided to go, and here we are. And this gentleman apparently is the one being accused of murder, who's a very eccentric, very wealthy man with a big hat. And apparently the one who is accusing him, the guy is probably like really, like, is called like literally the Reaper. And because of that, he has no defending lawyer, because nobody wants to stand against that guy. Because every time someone does, the defendant loses. That's all we know. It's a murder case, this guy is involved, he's the defendant, and that's all. Yes, explosions. That is the correct conclusion to all of this. You could say he's a living legend in the Old Bailey. Goodness, Lord Barrack van Zieks. You must be an exceptionally talented prosecutor then. I had to refresh the page because my message wasn't going through. Yeah, fun times. Talented isn't the word you're looking for, madam. It's cursed. Yay. Cursed? What on earth? The defendant is summoned and his counsel. Please make your way into the courtroom. The trial is about to begin. His counsel? That would be me. Oh, this time. Well then, fellow, don't let me down. But I don't know anything about your case. You haven't told me what happened. Until you showed your face here, I made up me mind, so I had. Sorry? I decided I'd have to defend myself in there. Would that have worked? So before we proceeded to this test trial, did we get to mourn our friend? No, but we enjoyed the amazing architecture of the train station, the muddy roads of London, and the carriage ride to the Lord Chief Justice. My best friend is dead. I put him in a coffin, and the coffin was literally thrown into the mud somewhere in London. Maybe it's now on sea. I don't know. Coffee, you must understand. This is not a visual novel. Actually, it is, but it's not really a visual novel, but it is. But then you made an appearance. A student of law, wouldn't you know? It's no accident, I can assure you of that. This fate. So don't get cold feet now, please. I literally know nothing about the case or about this man who stands accused. In fact, the only thing I do know is that I can't just turn my back on him. Why? I prefer furry visual novel over a game like these every day. Yeah, I can understand that. Mr. Naruhodo, the man has no one. He'll have to stand alone in that courtroom, armed with nothing to defend himself. He has arms. Yes, something that Kazuma would never have allowed to happen. Counsel for the defense, what are you doing? If you're late to the start of the trial, you will lose your right to stand. I'll be right there. It's happening. It's on. My first trial in the British court. It's on. I hope you're watching over me, Kazuma, as you sink to the ground of the sea in a coffin. Because I have no idea how I'm going to manage this. Panic. That's a low texture. It scares me. To make it safe. Right. We are in a PlayStation 1 game by any chance. Maybe. Let's call it a Nintendo DS game. What is this? Why is there a grandma? So, this is the highest court in Great Britain. The Old Bailey. This guy looks extremely trustworthy. She is surely not thinking she's the best thing ever. There's this guy. I don't know. And we can't see the rest, but there's a grandma behind her. The centuries of history in this place is palpable, isn't it? It's so different from the Supreme Court in Japan. Nobody's wearing a weapon in the court. This is so weird. I can't wait for the moment that in this court, like, anybody comes in and goes like, this is evidence? Throws it away. Now it's done. And everybody's like, that makes sense, yes. It feels like both imposing and serene at the same time. Their atmosphere almost makes its words redundant. Whatever the country, determining a person's guilt or innocence is always a solemn affair. What's next, Susato? We gonna explain that the court system doesn't work? May I say something, Mr. Naruhodo? You are aware that you just said something. Oh yes, what? He's still wearing the katana in court. Your eyes look ready to pop out of your head again. I know, but I just can't help it. The Santa Claus! No, it's Santa Claus. Not Santa Claus. In the name of Her Majesty Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. Santa, you should be watching people on your nice list. What are you doing here? We are here today to determine the guilt or innocence of Mr. Magnus McGilded. I now call upon the counsel of the prosecution and defense to declare their willingness to proceed. I can't believe they put like Dracula in the game. Is he a distant relative of Dimsdale Dimmador? Yes. His name is Santa Dumbledore. The prosecution is fully prepared. Shall I give him a German accent? Blah, blah. One, The prosecution is fully prepared. That must be the Reaper of Bailey. He really does look fully prepared to dispatch his next poor victim to the underworld. Oh, Counsel of the Defense, you appear to be Eastern. Do you speak English? Nani? Hi. So this. Sumimasen. But he asked if the defense was ready. Oh, he's gonna be just another Honosugawa. I couldn't be further from ready if I tried. Blah, blah, blah. Those eyes please me. Nice eyes. I want to see them more in my bedroom. Nipponese. Blah, they shroud you in fear, no doubt of trepidation. Yes, Daddy, I mean prosecutor. They run wild, clinging to some phantom notion of courage. The quintessential look of a sacrificial lamb. A cold shiver just ran down my spine all the way to the tips of my toes. How does that work? But regardless. Ho ho ho! No, Mr. Gilded. It's Mr. McGilded. Yes, my lord. Ho ho! You stand accused of murder, a capital offense. You could be sent to the gallows if found guilty. How do you feel about that? Are you quite sure you wish to entrust your defense to this Nipponese? As I've always said, my lord, this grand thing to give the opportunities to the young. I don't even know what he's saying. Even if the fella is a student from some island off in the Far East. Wait, what time in the game? Like, how are they still using gallows? End of 1800s? Something like that. Is it not the British way to ignore the dangers of yourself and give those less fortunate a fair chance? It would like to think that the acts of chivalry to the great British Empire prayed. Don't ask. I'm like shifting around with his accent back and forth. Dr. Missile blah 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 British expansions and text, yeah, motherfucker. It seems as though everyone in the public gallery is firmly behind Mr. McGilder. So the gallows were stopped at 1917, according to Wikipedia, so the game isn't wrong. Yeah. That's definitely welcome news, and he certainly has a way with words. I'm surprised he couldn't convince anyone to defend him. Oh, eloquently put, Mr. McGilded, and most laudable, I should say laughable sentiments. Now, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I'm sure I need hardly to remind you, whoever goes against my own subjective opinion will become a naughty child on my list at the end of the year and gets nothing. Keep that in mind. They couldn't use any more cliché characters ever. Like, you have the old British lady, like, the thing that has a name, which I just forgot, like, this instant. Who is knitting. I looked it up. And then you have the most British, gentleman who's driving around horses. Then you have the teacher woman that is extremely strict with children. Then you have your normal London gentleman that still lives today in London, is going to stab you in the back. Then you have the housemaid, and then you have the normal British gentleman who is like feeling amused about some racist comment he just dropped. Eccentric people are somewhat talented at their own field, like how some artists are considered as weirdos. I mean, this is a PG game, so they still have to put in that cartoon factor, like how Disney do it with their stuff. Oh boy! What would you say if I said, like, Disney these days has less creativity than those 6 people? 7? Ouch! I have to give them all voices? Ah. Yes, my lord. Yes, my lord.
If the task is to send the rotters to the gallows where they belong, I'm more than ready.
Maybe Disney around 2000 would fit better. At the manor, His Lordship always says we should dispose of rubbish promptly. Naturally, I agree. Nah, any criminals will soon be wishing they never set eyes on me.
I feel a chill.
Oh, don't mind me, my dears. I'll just getting on with my knitting. Must finish these mitts for my grandson.
Ah, Mr. Naruhodo, those people are... The jury, yes. That's something we don't have in Japan yet. Why is alcohol allowed? Why isn't it allowed? I mean, our character is allowed to stand there with a katana. Also, the other British guy has a knife. That's right, I've only ever read about it. But here, in Great Britain, the court's final verdict depends on the opinions of these 6 jurors. I agree with you on that one. Look at the old lady, she has needles. She's a menace. The judge passes the sentence according to the law, but the jurors determine guilt based on common sense. Common sense? How about judging it by the presented facts and other things that actually make out someone guilty or not? Based on the evidence we have seen, it's clear that this man is innocent. But subjectively, I don't like him, so... death. It's common sense, right? Imagine... I need to refill my water bottle. Be right back. You have 5 seconds. You have 6 seconds. So the defendant is ultimately judged from 2 completely different points of view. 5.6 seconds. Well, thank you, Bob. I shall do that. But how exactly do the jurors give their verdict? That I don't know, but I'm sure it will become clear as the trial progresses. Yes.
Oh, Prosecutor Van Six. My lord. It's been a number of years since we've seen you here in the courtroom. I thought you would renounce your fame. I'm known as the Reaper of the Bailey, my lord. Infamy rather than fame, I would say. But yes, 5 years have passed since I last spread my wings in this capacity. Oh, so what brings you back? Is there some change of circumstances which the court should be aware? I leave that to your imagination, my lord.
And the fact you didn't bring me a gift last Christmas, I'm going to murder you.
I mean, my lord. So the Reaper has been out of action for 5 years. Why did we have to choose today all of the days to make a comeback? Don't lose heart, Mr. Naruhodo.
Oh, as you wish, sir. The court nevertheless welcomes your return. I put you on the goody boy list because of that. And now then, opening statements, I think. A summary of the case, if you please.
Certainly, my lord. As your lordship is aware, this is a case of overwhelming simplicity. You must be the only ones here who aren't aware. The incident took place in the late evening 3 days past. The hour was some minutes after 10. The victim was a maker of building bricks known in the community as thrice-fired mason. Sorry? Thrice?
Oh, he was a very accomplished craftsman. The bricks he fired were said to be almost indestructible.
The victim's corpse was discovered in an omnibus in the service of the streets of London at the time. A dagger that had been thrust into the victim's abdomen is believed to be the ultimate cause of death. Maybe. There is an autopsy report from the investigating medical officers at Scotland Yard.
Oh, thank you, Consul. I shall accept that and the photograph as evidence.
Yay. Yay. And one further item of evidence. The prosecution wishes to submit these as well.
Oh, what are these? Good lord, is that blood, Consul?
Yes, my lord. Seized by a policeman who arrived at the scene after I took a few licks from it. These gore-soaked gloves were taken from the hands of the accused when he was arrested. Nani? The gilded gloves had blood on them?
Oh, yes, I will accept these as evidence as well. Smile.
How did I get into this? Backed into a corner before I even started. Continuing. According to the driver of the omnibus, there were only 2 passengers traveling inside the vehicle at the time. Only 2? Obviously, one of the passengers was the deceased brickmaker, Mr. Mason. The other was the accused, Magnus McGilded.
Oh, well, rather damning circumstances to say the least. Defendant, what do you say?
Well, of course, I had no recollection of such a thing. Mr. McGilden. To be sure, I rode an omnibus that evening. But whenever I'm in a carriage, I'm taken with a fierce tiredness and always succumb to it.
Oh, are you claiming to have been asleep?
Tis the motion of the carriage, my lord, lilting so it is. And when I opened my eyes again, 'twas desperate sight before me. The body of a man I'd never laid eyes upon before in me life. And now I ask yous what the good heart soul wouldn't rush to help a fella bleeding from his stomach. It wasn't about to start worrying about the gloves now, was he? I reached out to give the man a hand. So the blood got onto the gloves then after the man had been killed.
Unfortunately, the statement. One, two, three. That statement of the drivers is the only beginning.
What? No, it's not all of it?
There were multiple witnesses to the precise moment at which the brickmaker was fatally stabbed. Ho ho ho! Order! 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 When the killing took place, only the victim of the accused were inside the carriage. And there were witnesses to the crime. This is not just a case of compelling evidence. It's the nail in the coffin for the accused. Thank you, counsel. The circumstances of the crime have been made quite clear. I think we will hear the testimony from these witnesses first of all.
Your wish is my command.
Bailiff, bring the witness in at once.
What is under his hat?
Witnesses, your names and occupations. My name is, well, everyone calls me Pepper. I drive an omnibus in the East End. Bruce Fairplay, I'm a banker in the city.
My name's First Lady. Lady First. I'm make hats for gents.
His name is Lady First. Why? Why? Why?
I want to quit right now. Right here, right now. Like, why?
Let's begin by confirming the facts. 3 days ago, a short time after 10 o'clock in the evening, all of you present in the stand were in an omnibus and witnessed the aforementioned incident. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Quite right.
Yes, sir. That's right, sir.
Oh, well, very well then. Let's proceed to the formal testimonies, please. Each of you will tell the court precisely what you saw. Ah. Lady first, of course. What else? What else than lady first? I wanna cry. I wanna cry. It was the last bus of the evening, so I had a few customers. I remember it well. The victim and the man accusing of killing him were sat next to each other inside the bus. Then out of the blue, the accused just reached over and plunged a knife right into his gut. That's right. He stabbed him. I screamed. I did. I couldn't help it. As soon as I heard the scream, I stopped my bus. And then I saw it too. What is this? An ambiguous testimony on an unambiguous testimony, I must say. Exactly, my lord. These men witnessed the incident in the omnibus with their own eyes. I would like to ask a question, if I may. Yes, counsel? Well, this testimony makes absolutely no sense to me whatsoever. Why not? Well, the incident took place inside a moving carriage, didn't it? As has been clearly stated from the outset, yes. Well, in that case, how could those two witnesses possibly have seen what happened? There's no way that they could have seen it inside of the moving carriage. How quaint. I'd read that the civilization in the Eastern Island nations was a good century behind our own. But you're here in London yourself. Are you really going to ignore about our omnibuses? Huh? Tell me, my Nipponese friend, have you ever traveled in an omnibus? Well, no. Well, I only arrived in London this morning. No matter. I've arranged for all of us to see for ourselves the actual scene of the crime, that is. What do you mean? The actual scene? How? A carriage is designed to be moved, after all. Presumably you understand that much? Yes. The omnibus in which this bloody crime took place is here today, in this very building. Here? What? The entire carriage? Bailiff? Bring forth the stricken omnibus. Okay. But I assume they were sitting inside, not outside. So that's an omnibus. The omnibus. Can't believe they could bring something so enormous in here. Great Britain's courtrooms are amazing. As you can see, the omnibus is pulled by dual horses and can carry up to 8 passengers. 4 passengers seated inside the enclosed cabin and another 4 on the rooftop the deck above. Every Londoner knows that the best views of the city's architecture and sights are to be had from the top of an omnibus. And I should point out for our foreign guests that there is a skylight in the roof, allowing a view of the interior from the seats above. Well, depends where these two were. Like the one in the front clearly cannot see it. Ah, a skylight. Oh! The penny drops at last, I see. These two gentlemen were occupying the rooftop seats on this omnibus when the murder took place. That is how they came to witness the grim incident. Through the skylight. Ah, makes perfect sense. Haha, well, Counsel, this is a first. In all my years behind the bench, I've never experienced the crime scene itself being brought into the courtroom. There are a number of important clues remaining inside the carriage, my lord. I would like to submit the omnibus itself as evidence. That is the prosecution's wish. Very well. I see no reason why not. Welcome back. The omnibus is hereby formally accepted as evidence. The omnibus has been blah. I can't believe it! The entire crime scene entered as evidence? Yes, the Great Britain is simply extraordinary. So it seems like that this dude is the literally the English version of the inspector. Yeah. I could help myself a lot by giving that omnibus a thorough examination, seeing as it is here. Aside from the racism part, of course. Let us continue with the proceedings then. Your cross-examination, counsel. Pray don't expect this Nipponese stray to understand the intricacies of the British court's cross-examination rights. Alright, first cross-examination in a British court. Focus, Ryui. Focus. Yell more slurs at me, daddy. Yeah, eat it. I mean, we have learned that Egypt is an actual word, which is a slang word for idiot, imbecile. And then there's an artist with a very similar name to that, but whatever. Okay, can I... Streamer trying to play the game on their own and their own mod is down bad for the racist. You just like vampires. It was the last boss of the evening, so I had a few customers. I remember it well. As far as I understand, pressing is not killing a point.
A little bit, yes. I mean, this should be fine. The victim and the man accused of killing him were sat next to each other inside the bus. Then out of the blue, the accused just reached over and plunged a knife right into his guts. That's right, he stabbed him. I screamed. I did. Couldn't help it. As soon as I heard the scream, I stopped my bus, and then I saw it too. Let's press this. What exactly did you see? We learned about this, but I don't remember. Oh, it's about looking around, right? Oh, well, sir, that would be passengers, sir. Yes, the collapsed on the floor he was. That's wrong. We have a photo where he's sitting in the chair. So that is a lie. I like the bitey part. Not much for the dying part and not being able to going into houses uninvited. Okay, this is not correct. He's lying? Because we have this photo here. This here. Which clearly shows that he didn't collapse on the floor. What have we here? An armband. Okay, that's that. What do we have here? Okay, 3 fired mason male, 54 brickmaker, time course of 10, 15 February, 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. Stabbed once in the abdomen with a knife whilst journeying in an omnibus, died to internal hemorrhaging resulting from the trauma. Okay. This is definitely blood. 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 It's enough to make a man mad. Is it just me, or they're oddly similar to the witnesses from the first case? Potentially. Not the most pleasant sight to be confronted with on our first day in London. Well, nothing will come from grumbling now. No, by the way, is Mr. McGilded right-handed? That's a good question. Yes, I believe so. He was toying with the coin in his right hand a little earlier. Yeah, that's usually the indication. Oh, blood. Like a blood pact something. Yes. Oh, blood bound us until death. Yay. Ah, pity if I only he'd be left-handed. I think blood on either glove would be fairly incriminating, really. Maybe. Guess that's all there is. Okay. We have this entire monster to look at. Well, let's open the door and go inside, shall we? Ugh, scene of a murder. It's horrible. Seat has a handle, it seems. This looks like all sorts of equipment that might be needed to keep the omnibus running. Feeding tubs, tools to repair, wheels, blankets, horseshoeing tools. So it's a storage compartment for the coachman to keep his things, it seems. There doesn't seem to be any space for the passengers to stow their luggage, that's for sure. But another person would easily fit in there from the left side. So this omnibus isn't much different from any carriage aside from all the fancy chairs and extra compartments. No, it is different. I mean, you saw, maybe you didn't, but like the normal carriages are running on like 2 wheels and have like space for like 2 people. That's like the normal transporting carriages. Yes, I know there are carriages where it's just inside and multiple people have space in it. This one can transport 4 people inside and 4 people on the top. But on the top is also a window. Like, on top is also a window so the people can look inside and the people inside can look up. And that's what they state, right? You have the coachman, which is on the roof in the front for the horses. He cannot look inside the window, it's behind him. Like, behind him is the first row of seats. Then comes a window in the floor and the second row of the seats, like right after the window in the floor. So the ones in the back seats on the roof can look inside the carriage. And that's what these 2 gentlemen, the gentleman and the younger one, said. They saw the murder happen through the window because they sat in the back row on the roof. And when they reacted to it, the coachman actually stopped the carriage and then looked inside and saw it as well. But he didn't saw the actual murder happen. Only the other 2 had the ability to see it. So they say, but it's most likely not like that. And inside here we had the one we defend and the dead person. They say it's pretty clear because the one we defend was the only other person inside there, but nothing says like there's not another person hiding in this compartment. Who did the murder? Well, I don't imagine it would be very convenient for that purpose anyway. Ah, that's a post of the great exhibition that's due to start 6 months from now. There's a lot of focus being drawn to the Crystal Tower, the centerpiece of the whole exposition. You mean the Eiffel Tower? Ah, the Crystal Tower. It's under construction already, I believe. People all over London must be fizzing with excitement at the prospect of such a grand event. See, here's the window. It's quite a large skylight, isn't it? Yes, it's it's quite. Okay, fine, I drink something. Yes, quite large enough to afford a good view into the cabin from the roof deck.
And there doesn't appear to be a handle or catch for any description. So I suppose it can't be opened from the inside the cabin at least. Ah, it's a poster for the Great Exhibition. Do it. Plus, the same text. That's blood that's soaked into the seat. The victims, obviously.
Yes, and the seat would be clearly visible from the roof deck.
Would you really stab somebody in full view of the other passengers like that? I wonder.
Well, it was after dark.
After dark.
And there was a lamp on in here, so perhaps the culprit couldn't see anything outside through the skylight.
Whichever way you look at it, it doesn't seem like it was a planned attack. I think there's nothing else. Phoenix Wright Omnibus. Really? Really? Phoenix Wright Omnibus. I hate that the controls are inverse. Like, disgusting. That's all you can look at? That's all you can look at. Cool. And by passengers. By passenger, obviously you are referring to the victim, Mr. Mason, the brickmaker.
And the other passenger had like a knife in his hand, like this.
By the other passenger, obviously you are referring to the accused, Mr. Magnus McGilded.
And then he plunged it down like this, stabbing the other passenger in the belly.
Isn't it weird that he has this story, but at first he said like, because of this guy screaming because he saw it, he stopped the carriage and then saw it. Like he saw the dead body. He didn't see the murder happening. It would even make no sense otherwise. What? My lord! Hmm? Juror number 3, what's the meaning of this? My mind is made up, my lord. Completely and utterly made up. Made up about what? I don't like the stinking rich, never have. Always up to something and not, or other than what? Or other that they shouldn't be. Every one of them. And that little leprechaun of a man is no exception. Well, he can't fool me. There's no point in wasting time listening to any more of this. That's my opinion on the matter anyway. That is precisely what I was about to say. Wow. As the foreman of the jury, it's my duty to set a good example to my fellow jurors. How do they do this? What is this magic trickery, this witchcraft? What is happening here?
Let me see. Ah, yes, it seems that's how the members of the jury give their verdicts.
With fire?
Apparently, yes. White for innocent and black for guilty. It's totally not racist. As the 6 members of the jury make up their minds about the case, one by one, each they cast a ball of fire into the great scales of justice as we saw a moment ago.
So if those enormous scales fall completely to the black side, does that mean...
Let's do our very best to make sure that doesn't happen.
Ugh, now I'm even more worried than I was before. Oh, very well. The court acknowledges the changes in the jury's stance. Counsel of the defense, please continue with your cross-examination. This is a nightmare. Alright, so when it happened, the only 2 people in the enclosed cabin area were the victim and the defendant. And so help me, 3 whole people witnessed the man I'm trying to defend to the deed. Do the deed.
I don't like to be pessimistic, but we do seem to be in a rather difficult situation here.
Ugh. What I'm supposed to think here? Is Mr. McGilded really innocent? Or could it be?
Before we jump to conclusions, our first task should be to gather information. We need to understand the case much better than we do at the moment.
Yes, you're absolutely right. Let's listen to those witness statements again, a little more carefully this time.
Hold it!
Yes, I think it was sometime after 10, wasn't it?
Oh, yes, sir. That's right, sir. Yes, ever so cold it was, sir. Freezing, in fact.
Excuse me!
What? If I may, Mr. Phipp. Whoa, did I make a mistake, I guess. What are you fossicking for now? Fossicking. That last statement appears to have given you a pause of forethought. Not really. I didn't intend to do this, by the way. By the way, you always seem to be looking to decide one way or another. Do you have some affliction? Not really. It's not really willing to say anything, it seems. It's none of your business anyhow. The
victim and the man accused of killing him sat next to each other in the bus. Let's just press a little bit. And you saw them through the skylight in the roof of the carriage? That's right. When you sit up on top of the deck, the window's right there at your feet. There was a lamp inside, so I had a pretty good view. The two of them were wearing hats, and I couldn't exactly make out their faces. But the one on the left looks nothing like our client. I mean, let's face it, how is this our client? He's wearing black. What is this? Like, this looks not even close to any color of him. Though this attire and the fly looks like him. But mostly it doesn't look like him at all, unless he's wearing a different kind of attire today. I like how he's actually saying, like, the two of them wearing hats and I couldn't exactly make out their faces. But how does he know that the dead one was wearing a hat? He can't see it from here, right? So, that's strange. The bad thing is you cannot present any evidence yet. But there's not a shred of doubt in my mind it was Mr. McGilded. How can you be so sure? Well, how can I put it politely? McGilded is a gentleman of rather small stature. Oh, he called him short. I couldn't have mistaken him for anyone else. Let's not forget that when the vehicle came to a halt, the only people inside the enclosed cabin were the deceased Mr. Mason and Mr. McGilded. There is no room for doubt here. I really wish there was. And out of the blue, the cursed reached over and plunged a knife right into his guts. Hold it! You actually saw the exact moment it happened? Didn't I already testify to that? He became American. Or our fair... or our fair dinkum hard-working city bankers not considered trustworthy these days? Or our fair dinkum. I mean, I heard the word dinkum before, but it sounds stupid. Oh, no, I didn't mean that. This is no good. I've really got this back up. Perhaps you could just tell us what you saw in little more detail. Me lord, if you'll forgive the interruption. Ah, juror number 2, go on. Mr. McGilded is a pillar of society and a gentleman, and a gentleman's word should be sacrosanct. Sacrosanct. However, those of us in service know we must accept hard truth. Wait, what are you about to do? Dispose of the rubbish. No. I don't wish to cause offense, but I do like to eradicate all traces of filth and crime. I have painstakingly typed every word uttered here today and cross-referenced all the facts. As such, I am now in position to draw the lonely logical conclusion.
As you could save this man anymore.
Not again. That's 4 out of 6 jury members who proposed a guilty verdict. There are only 2 left.
By logic, he's dead.
We've had it. Every time I press the witness for more information, I just make the situation worse. Nevertheless, what we need more than anything at the moment is more information. We're still very much in the dark. I suppose...
Oh, this is what I say.
I suppose I'll just have to keep pressing the witnesses, knowing that more sparks may well fly. We mustn't give up on hope. That will uncover something that will give us a way to fight back.
We already do.
But... Alright, I'll keep trying. Can't give up. Just need to keep calm and listen to the witnesses' statements again. It's blah blah blah. He stabbed him, you say, and you were sitting on the roof deck, were you? Yes, that's right. I was on the roof seats. Was up on the roof seats. Clicking and... yeah. I remember... Coffee. Coffee Siphon, are you here? Listen to me.
I summon thee. Give me a sign of life.
I remember seeing the little gent sitting next to the fellow that was stabbed. I'd be thinking about it, and you had the sign, you see, so I was just gazing absent-mindedly around. But then it happened. To look down through the skylight. Let the sky fall, we will crumble. It was sticking right out from his belly. That huge great knife. A grim sight indeed. Didn't help me at all. Sure, it looked like they're even more convinced my kind did it than they were before. That appears to have made everyone even more dubious that Mr. McGilded is telling the truth. If only we had some evidence to counter their suspicions.
Mr. First.
Yes, sir.
Is this the knife you saw?
That's a very nice knife. Oh, good grief! Yes, that's it. The very one, sir. Is that?
Yes, Counsel. This is the blade that was driven into the victim's belly like a stake through the heart.
That is a blade of considerable size, Counsel.
I don't know. Can't judge the size of this blade. It is, and furthermore, the scabbard is emblazoned prominently with a certain initial. The letter M, which seems oddly familiar.
Mason? I mean... please no.
M for Magnus, perhaps, or McGilded, possibly. Take your pick.
Or Mason?
It seems this particular big name in London made a magnificent mistake.
But there are M's everywhere. Yes. Like in Mason.
Objection!
This blade is far too extravagant for a poor brickmaker to have owned. No, this weapon of murder almost certainly belongs to the accused.
Not conclusive, but certainly compelling, Counsel. Oh, now I can present. Interesting. Alright, so when it happened, the only two people in the enclosed cabin were the victim and the defendant. And, so help me, 3 whole people witnessed the man I'm trying to defend to do the deed. I don't like to be pessimistic. We had this conversation before. That part is the sheath, isn't it? Are you alright, Mr. Naruhodo? Oh, sorry, yes. I just don't really like blades. Oh, those seem like the words of a man with a large katana slung from his waist. It's not a blade that Kazuma saw. Anyway, there's no sense in delaying it. Let's see what the blade looks like. Looks like a lot of blood. Like blood.
It surely is blood, the victims.
English man's blood looks like a Japanese man's blood.
Yes.
Why? Do we have now different colored blood depending where we live?
Did you think it wouldn't?
Sorry, it's just that we've only arrived here in Great Britain. I'm finding it a little hard to adjust.
Yes, I do understand.
An ornate letter, M, undeniably Mr. Magnus McGilded's initial.
And it's beautifully gilded too. It must be very valuable, I should think.
Ah,
What is it?
look at this M. If you turn it upside down, it becomes a W. This could change everything.
A W.
Yes, this is one of those, you know, turnabout cases. I'm sure of it.
I'm afraid I don't know at all, but what I'm sure of is that this is an M.
Oh, the idea was quickly squashed. Is it though? Could be a W. I don't think there's anything else to this. What could it be? Well, thank you, Bob. Shall do that. Before I actually continue, I will take a very short break.
Because I'm just another being.
So I will be right back. Number. Okay. So, now press him again. This.
Hold it!
Ever so cold it was, so freezing in fact. Wait. So if it was freezing, why did these two ride at the top of the omnibus? And you had 4 passengers on board at the time, is that correct? Yes, that's right, sir. Not all traveling in the same part of the bus, but of course, though, no. But if it was freezing, I don't understand why these two were on the roof. If they were wearing the same things right now. And he's like, freezing. And there were no other passengers when the incident took place? No one's alighted, for example? You're quite right about that, sir. No other passengers like that. No, none. So nobody fled the scene of the crime then. I have to say the boss insisted on running. Running. He does every evening. That's the bus of the day. The last bus. I have to say that the boss insists on it running. He does every evening. The last bus of the day. But I do wonder sometimes if it's altogether worthwhile. Yes, sorry to say. What do you mean by that? Well, what with it being so cold and everything, and only making 20 pence on the run, you see? Yeah, yes, I spent that much at the property on the way home, just trying to warm up again. I just can't believe it, sir. Can't believe it. Murder on my own bus. It's too awful to think about. I haven't been able to shake this cold ever since it happened.
My lord, I wish to speak.
Yes, juror number 5. Do I take it that you too?
As the master of the London Guild of Coachmen, The idea of a murder being committed in one of the city's carriages is utterly abhorrent to me. It wouldn't be right to make a decision before hearing all the facts, though, I said to myself. But I've heard enough now. The horse has bolted, as they say. No, please, just keep... Gee up, Silverblaze, the finish is inside. Beppo is a long-standing member of the guild, and I trust that what the man says. Oh, thank you, sir. You're too kind, sir. This is too unkind, sir. Which now means that 5 jurors agree to condemn this man. Madam Juror number 6.
Yes, my dear. What can I do for you?
You have heard the testimonies of the witnesses in their stand.
Oh, yes, I certainly have. I still got my hearing, you know.
Then pray tell, why are you yet to pronounce your leaning?
Well, dear, the thing is, I'm a creature of habit, me. I always go to the park around this time of day and sit on a nice bench and get on with my knitting. There's a lovely little park just near where I live. McGilded Park, it's called. The gentleman donated it to the city, you know, to put a smile on Londoners' faces, he said. I can't imagine such a fine young gentleman would have it in him to take another man's life. He is always doing wonderful things for the city. That's right, a man like that wouldn't stab someone, surely. Mother, may we go to the...
But is this like the audience?
Mother, may we go to the McGilded Public Library later and borrow some more books?
How many Londoners live with their heads in the clouds? Do you people not know? What kind of man Magnus McGilded really is?
What kind of man he is?
The philanthropist Magnus McGilded has enough wealth to purchase the entire city he claims to value so highly. But where did all that wealth come from? Your client is a Shylock, sir, and one with the very darkest of souls.
What?
Stone the crows. Crows, squeeze, crows.
McGilded lends money at extortionate rates of interest, so his victims have no hope of repaying him. When they default, he takes the possession of everything they own. He is a vulture that preys on the weak.
I've never heard any mention of that before.
Your faculties haven't deserted you, I'm sure, madam. So has this thought not crossed your mind? Would a man wealthy enough to buy London in its entirety not have a carriage of his own? What possible reason could this man have to make use of a public omnibus service?
Oh, You're not saying that.
The victim, a poor brickmaker, had next to nothing to his name save considerable financial liability. It will come as to no surprise that his creditor was the accused Magnus McGilded. But let it also be known that the very day Mr. Mason was killed was the final repayment date for his debt. What gracious! The brickmaker was destitute. He had lost his house. He had not a shilling with which to repay his debts. And in the end, this pitiful soul had the very last thing he owned taken from him, his life. By the merciless philanthropist pretender Magnus McGilded.
Believe it. If I might add something briefly,
Susato.
you claim that the victim had been lent money by Mr. McGilded. But where is the evidence to support your claim?
Why is he suddenly he has like wine? Literally has death with two scythes on his vine. Pray forgive the discourtesy of filling my hallowed chalice in a court of law.
Aha, there it is! Lord 1/6, the hallowed chalice. And the secret of the secret chamber.
This is considered acceptable. You're standing in a court with a katana. There is a juror with a knife. There's an entire carriage in the courtroom. But I find myself in unexpectedly good humor. I had heard the ladies from the Far East could show great courage, but I didn't expect to experience it myself.
As judicial assistant to the defense, I'm simply doing my job.
What a pity that your display of courage is in vain. This is the debtor's ledger, which details all monies loaned by the accused. You will find the victim's name clearly recorded inside.
Oh,
Allow me to present this ledger as evidence. And pray forgive the discourtesy of raising my chalice in a toast to the enigmatic East at the same time.
a marvelous toast, Counsel. I will gladly accept this new evidence.
Okay.
Ah, yes, 20 guineas. The victim owed a considerable sum.
20 quids and 20 shillings. I know, times change, but from our perspective, to be like, let me think, where is it today? You know, to think that someone is like, oh God, I have like $20 debt. and, and like losing everything for $20. Like, what? I know. It's far more worth back then. And the accused made quite certain that he had ample recompense. Let me have a look in it, please. This portfolio must contain all sorts of secrets of London's gentry.
Oh dear, do you really think we ought to look inside?
Well, it's not though we know any of London's gentry personally, is it? Apart from our great detective friend, perhaps. Actually, I wonder.
I assure you we will not find Mr. Sholm's name inside.
Well, let's see what we find.
Gosh, it's crammed full of gentlemen's names, isn't it?
Well, I suppose they're probably not all gentlemen at all, are they? After all, not everyone in this country is well off.
Oh goodness,
What is it?
look at this. Do you see the name here?
Bruce Fairplay. Bruce Fairplay. Should that mean something to me? It does sound strangely familiar, actually.
Bruce Fairplay, the witness testifying at this very moment.
Oh. Which one was Bruce? Oh yes, of course, the banker. Why is his name in here? Ah, he borrowed 20 guineas, did he? Look, the repayment date is fast approaching.
It's possible that this is just a coincidence, of course, but this could be very useful information.
Yeah. Is this the same? There's nothing else to it. At some point, let's see. One second. At some point, coffee will return. Who knows?
Well, it would seem I've had the wool pulled over my eyes.
Regrettably, madam, that is the modus operandi of the accused.
And it's such a pretty little pioch, too. What a scoundrel. Still, it's all for the best.
Oh, wait a minute. Let's think about this for a little.
I don't stand for nonsense.
That was it. The last juror's decision.
According to this Encyclopedia of British Law, when all members of the jury have concluded that the defendant is guilty, court proceedings are suspended and the presiding judge will deliver the final verdict and sentence. That's what it says here.
The final verdict? It's over then? Oh.
There's a footnote, though.
Footnote?
However, the defense...
All 6 members of the jury are now in agreement in this case. Allow me to convey my respect to your swift and righteous decision. According to the laws of this country, I will now conclude the trial by delivering my final verdict. I trust there are no objections. Mr. Sato, just tell me one thing.
Oh, yes?
We're in the middle of saying something before. Footnote in your Encyclopedia of British Law. However, the defense. What did it say next?
Oh, yes, of course. One moment. When all members of the jury have conducted that the defendant is guilty, court proceedings are suspended and the presiding judge will deliver the final verdict and sentence.
We didn't ask for that. We only wanted to hear the footnote.
Then the footnote says, however, the defense has the right to demand a summation examination of the jurors at this point.
A summation examination?
Objection!
A summation examination? From which country has that tome you have there been resurrected? Judging from the bindings, I would say that book is at least 50 years old. Any modern text on British law wouldn't even give us such an antiquated procedure a mention. It's a relic long forgotten and certainly no longer practiced. So you're out of luck.
Oh,
What even is it, Miss Susato? This so-called summation examination.
oh, one moment. I'll read it about.
Would you demand the right to a procedure before you even understand what it entails? Typical Nipponese.
All right, Mr. Naruhodo, I think I understand. It seems that under this procedure, we would be able to appeal to the members of the jury. Jury.
To do what exactly?
Appeal to them to change their leaning and reverse their decision. And it says here that if successful, the proceedings of the trial must be resumed.
Make them reverse their decisions.
Yes, in times gone by, barristers would use a summation examination to attempt to influence the jury's decision. But that procedure became something of a formality with no practical benefit really, so it rather fell out of use. I wonder why.
Because it was devoid of purpose. Changing just one member of the jury's mind would be hard enough, let alone several. No self-respecting defense barrister would even assert his right to try this in this day and age.
Still, I don't see any mention of the procedure actually being formally revoked.
What are you suggesting?
I'm suggesting that although it may be antiquated and largely forgotten, it isn't yet extinct. What do you think, Mr. Naruhodo?
Summation examination, our last possible option. Do we assert our right to carry it out or admit defeat?
Forget about it.
The defense wishes to assert its right to a summation examination, my lord.
Objection!
London is the capital city of the most powerful nation on the earth. We have a duty to the world to exemplify the very highest standards of judicial procedure. Summation examination are an embarrassment that should be remain buried.
Objection!
But if it's our right, it's our right. I believe I could prove vital in this trial.
The defense's petition is perfectly valid. The court will proceed with the summation examination. This is madness. Foreman, are you and the remainder of the jury ready? Oh well, I'm not. There was no mention of this in the letter I received, so all members of the jury will be asked to explain on what grounds they have reached their decision. On what grounds? You must all justify your decisions and explain why you believe the defendant to be guilty. Well, my lord, you're rather putting us on the spot.
This is most irregular. No mention was made of this before.
I don't really hold with all this justifying, Lark. Seems to have thrown the jurors off.
It seems none of them have experienced this before.
Alright then, summation examination. A defense procedure no practicing lawyer has attempted for years, is it? Well, just maybe. Might be the opportunity we've been looking for. To turn this trial around.
So be it then, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the court hereby calls upon you to state the grounds on which you find the defendant Magnus McGilded guilty of his most serious crime.
Holy moly. I don't know if Coffee Siphon is still alive. Still alive, Coffee Siphon. Are you alive? Are you alive?
Are you alive, Coffee Siphon? Are you alive?
Let's see.
Oh, 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 oh.
Ba 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 ba.
What is
this case even? Crazy case. Ugh.